Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's wee Paddy from across the shuck, and after a bit of an absence, I'm back again with another video, and it's my friend Tom over at Knife Delights. It's his Two for Tuesday, and I didn't want to miss it again. I missed it last week, and I'd just like to do one for him. I've picked a topic that it's a dear to me because it's one of my first real proper using knives was a Mora. Um, when I was bushcrafting, which was before I started knife collecting or anything like that. So, to Tom, you're the reason I'm doing this one because he's just a very special man. And if you're not subscribed to Tom, get over there and give him a sub. So, I'm going to talk about Moras. I've got two here. I have more Moras. I have children's Moras. I have lots of other, not lots, but I have a few other Moras. But these are two of my favourite Moras. And then I want to combine them to what's changing in Mora. And that's price. They've got a couple of new knives out which are made in wood, which are, to me, going against everything Mora was. But let's talk about these two knives in particular. So the first one and the oldest one I'm going to talk about is this beautiful knife. You see it's got the original old Mora Kneve sheath on it. This is a real good sheath. You know, it's thin enough leather, but by God, it's well made with these I don't know whether it's stainless steel. It looks like it could be stainless steel covers. Really super knife. This was a knife. I have a video on it, but this is my daughter-in-law, and it was her grandfather's knife. And when he passed away and she was clearing out his garage, she found this and it was rusty. It was well worn down. So I took it and I cleaned it up and I said, look, thank you for giving it to me, but can I keep that? She's got 5 boys. So I wanted to save it for one of the boys. If he joined the Scouts or whatever, his knife would always be here. He wouldn't have to buy a knife because this is in perfectly serviceable condition. Now, I'm not sure what age it is. It doesn't really matter. But this is an old type Mora knife. And the wooden handle, lovely fuller here. Really nice steel on this. Really nice. Now, I have an edge and all on it. It's not a proper typical bushcraft edge. I sharpened it and you can see it there, and I've put just a secondary bevel at the bottom, but it still works absolutely fantastic. Still is tight, there's no wobble, really is a good sturdy blade, a proper woodsman's knife, and it is just gorgeous. And this is what the old Moras would have been made of wood. You can see it's probably a stick tang and screwed in there all the way through. Very robust knife. This feels robust, and I have no doubt that it is robust. I'm not even sure what the handle is on this. Not sure at all, but it's just a lovely knife. Very hard to find some information on this, but I love it, and it's the first one I'm going to show. And it's very much a user's knife. This is not something I want as a safe queen. You know, I would take this out and cut with this and use it. There's not a problem. Little belt loop there. Super, super little knife. But the one that sort of really sets it for me is this one. This is when I realised just how good a knife can be. This is the old Mora Robust. There's a newer model now which had a shorter handle or something like it. It never felt the same. I've had this one for a long time. I still have my old fire steel at the bottom of it here, and some of my gaffer tape there just in case you can see that. And that's the way I used to carry it. Just stick it into my belt when I was bushcrafting. And I used the living daylights out of this. You know, I wouldn't baton with that because it's too nice, but I'm sure it would take it. But this, I batoned with, I battered, this has some of the great patina. You can see where I have fire starters. I've cleaned it up a few times. This is in carbon steel. It was nearly black at one stage. I've cleaned it all up, and then I was using that last year. That's what that is. I was striking fire steel with it last year. But this handle is probably, in fact, not probably, this is the most comfortable handle on any knife I have. This old Mora Robust. It is full fat, just an absolute. You can, and I have used this all day long, mucking about, building forts, building seats, building tables when I was out bushcrafting. This is a superb knife. Batoned with it, light batoning, not heavy because it's not, deep enough. but an absolute buy that, this must be, I'd say it's over 15 years, probably over 15 years old. I can't tell you exactly when it was, but a knife that I have used, I trust, and would take anywhere. This isn't a full tang. I think this came up to about here, about a 3/4 tang, but it never ever got loose, or there was never anything I could complain about this knife. I also used this fishing to skin trout with that. There we go, rainbow trout I would have skinned with this. Not the knife for it, but this is before I realised that you couldn't, that knives have special uses and you can't swap it about like my foot. This is just an absolutely knife that I would use doing anything, and most knives you can use doing anything. They don't have to be specialised. But this is, again, a fantastic sheath. It doesn't fall out. I'm sure if I really, really shook it, it might, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm too old to jump on my head, so it's never going to fall out of there. Just a super knife. Really, really super knife. And one of the best knives I've ever used. This is a real using knife, and it's done me for everything I wanted to do, as would this one here. But what I wanted to talk about more is that Mora now are sort of, if you can think of it, they started with old wooden handles, like the number 1 and the number 2 were made with wooden handles. But this is, going beyond them. And this was an old Mora that was made in that sort of Swedish Finnish sort of design, that Puukko sort of style. But they started there, and then they moved to here. Now, I don't know how expensive these would have been in their time-related price, but I know this was about £30 or something. It mightn't even have been as much as that. I'm saying that. No, it probably wouldn't have been as much as that. But this was more expensive. It's got a thicker stock on it than the normal companion and things like that. But this was just a budget knife that you could batter, and it would keep on going and keep on going, as this one did. But I've now noticed, and I just noticed it the other day, that more are coming out with more wooden handled, and they're more of a bushcraft type of a knife. But the price on them is just astronomical. I couldn't believe the price on them. Which I think there's a smaller one at about £119, and then there was one at 160. It's a proper bushcraft style knife. And I understand that everything goes up in price. I understand that. I'm not complaining about that, and they have the right to put their prices up. But I can't understand why you would want to pay 119 for a wooden handled knife when you have this robust type knife that is so good, that costs so little, and you can use and batter it, and you're not worried about if it breaks by another. And I think I'm surprised that more is going to that more expensive route for me, because having owned this, and I know how good it is, and I have used it successfully, that there's nothing I could want to change in a sort of bushcraft sort of camp knife as this. Why I would want to spend £160. And I think I'm surprised that Mora done that. Now, look, Mora's their own company, and they've been making cheap and easy to use knives for years upon years, and gratis to that. I mean, these Moras and the simple Moras, even the basic Mora, is a fantastic price range. And maybe it is for those who just want that wooden handle, because I honestly find it hard to go past these. And if you're ever thinking of doing any bit of bushcrafting or woodwork, Mora has a knife for you, and they're in a budget range. Unless I get one out of the blue and I get to test it, I can't see why I would want to go past the Mora Black, the bushcraft. There's plenty out there, the companion. They're absolutely super nice, and you don't need, if you're going to use it, you don't need to spend that high money. If it's something for a collection piece to show off a Mora, I can see that. I do things like that myself. But I honestly recommend this range here. These are great to get and keep as a keepsake. I mean, look at the blades. Look at the tip on that. That is a real robust knife. It really is. And I mean, I haven't sharpened this for I don't know how long. I got this years ago off my daughter-in-law. It's still sharp as it is. It's absolutely fine. Yes, it could do with a little tune-up, but it's been lying there, and I'm sure the edge a bit rust on it. But that is just a lovely sharp knife. I don't even know if you had that on screen. Did I have that on screen? Probably not. So it's a real sturdy knife. It's not a little thin takeaway knife. This one, gosh, I don't know how long it is since I had that. That could do with a sharpen, because I was using it last year and I never done anything about it, never sharpened it after I used it, so that needs to be done. I shall do that for the next video. In fact, I might even do a video of sharpening this with this special grind that they have on woodworking knives. I'll maybe do that whenever I'm feeling a bit stronger, and get it up on the channel and resharpen it, because I'll be using this again. This goes in my go bag when I'm going out and about and I want to light wee fires or whatever. This is always there, so I'll resharpen that and get it back up to goodness again. Sorry, my speech, everything is gone. It's just, I've had a miserable week. I'm starting to feel a bit better. I am starting to feel a bit better. And for all those who sent me best wishes and prayers, thank you, thank you, thank you. It really does mean a lot. And I just wanted to get back for Tom. I'll try again in a day or two, make another one. This is just a shambles, but I just wanted to get something out for you and for Tom. Take care. Paddy's away. Bye-bye now.